Hello indie game fans! Closing out the month is a bumper crop of indie game new releases, but as always, here are the top 5 best new releases of the week.
There is a great mystery in Referland, of grim ancient shadow which light calls and tempts, of grey somber pilgrim whose name never called, who answers for doings of all living souls. His blade of pure darkness believes he is just, but no, he's deceptive. His words are like dust. The featureless puppet with ashy grey hand will take all your light and bring world to an end.
I have previously highlighted Grimshade in an upcoming turn-based RPGs video, and after a short delay, it is finally launching on Steam next week. Inspired by the classic JRPGs of the 90s, I love games like this not only for the nostalgia that they bring, but also for the possible advancements to the genre that they can make. I like the art style, and with 7 party members, including the standout Badger character, this is one for fans of the genre. Nova Drift is a fast-paced, roguelite bullet hell shoot-'em-up that self-describes as distilling the mechanical depth of an action RPG into classic arcade space combat. With an ever-evolving ship, multiple builds, and over 120 weapons and mods, this looks super sleek and very, very good.
Please forgive our delay in writing. Your father and I have had much to contend with. We have to leave our beloved Willowbrooke, and we need you to take care of the post office in our absence. We know this is a lot to ask of you, but would not do so unless it was absolutely necessary. We shall return in a year's time and hope you can support the villagers and our livelihood until then. I'll explain more when you get here. Head to the station on New Year's Eve. Your ticket will be waiting for you. With love, Mum and Dad.
Willowbrooke Post is a job simulator game where you are in charge of running the family business, which is the local post office. It has an almost Papers, Please-like mundanity of the day-to-day job, but add to that a meta management layer of running the business, quirky characters, and an actual story-based narrative, and you certainly have my interest.
The main post office is where the bulk of the action happens. As well as attending to customers, this is also where the all-important parcel wrapping takes place. This involves selecting gift wrap, a ribbon, a bow, and addressing the parcel to the intended recipient. Failing to deliver a parcel to the correct villager will harm your post office's reputation. Writing letters to villagers is also a key part of Willowbrooke Post, giving you an opportunity to become a part of the local community. You'll even receive a specially tailored response to your message. The storage room is where you'll be tasked with checking postage guidelines to make sure that letters have valid stamps, are within the acceptable weight range, and whether the address is written correctly. Finally, choose to approve a letter for sending or flag it for further attention. Returning to look after your parents' post office also means returning to your childhood home. A secret or two may even lie within these quarters, and that's not mentioning a mysterious set of locked doors and an ominous attic. Outside of traditional post office duties, you'll also have the opportunity to take on the odd job from the community news board, such as baking. Collect ingredients and recipes to bake delicious treats. Send them to customers to boost your reputation. Finally, we move into your very own cosy bedroom, where you'll rest after a busy day's work. Managing your stamina and workload is key to the success of your post office, so you'll need to make sure to avoid fatigue. Running the Willowbrooke Post Office is an expansive task, with even more activities available, such as writing emails and sifting through junk mail. Will you be able to keep your parents' post office alive until they return?
Tim.
The World Next Door is a game which I've been keeping an eye on for a while now, and is a visual novel crossed with real-time match 3 combat, and I find the concept alone very unique. I would like to get to know the characters in this world, and it does give me a little bit of that Pyre vibe, so eagerly waiting to check this out.
For many, the allure of medieval fantasy RPGs is so obvious, so captivating. This idea of living in another world, somewhere more hostile, more magical, more intense than our real lives, is a powerful escape. While visiting such a world, we want to believe. The illusion breaks down when the game reminds you constantly that it is a game. That is what happens when the game is always giving you freebies. Go venture in the wilds, but don't worry, you're half dragon. You're the chosen one. You're the lost child from a prophecy. Nah, we want to scale back things so that you live in a fantasy world, but from the perspective of an ordinary human being, with no superpower, and no game developer guiding you at every step. This is a game for those who aren't afraid of being vulnerable, for those who want to own up to their mistakes and feel the sting of their failures. Who said that adventuring should be easy? Who said that you, the player, can't do it on your own? Even ordinary people can do extraordinary things. In order to make the adventuring life more human, the threat of combat shouldn't be your only worry. Hunger, thirst, exhaustion, these are all part of the deal when you travel untamed lands. It also wouldn't make sense for a normal human being to get out in the cold of winter without furs and have a warm fire. It wouldn't make sense to run around the desert in a large, fully plated armor either. This is part of the vision behind Outward. The story isn't about you being some central mythical figure. The obstacles aren't about single-handedly crushing armies. That's not what adventuring is about. Outward is about making you live in a medieval fantasy world that feels more real, more human. Yeah, it's harder, but we, the devs, we know you're smart. We trust that you can do it, and the rewards will be earned, not handed to you.
Finally, Outward is an ambitious open-world RPG with survival elements, and the interesting twist is that you are simply an ordinary adventurer, not the chosen one, not born with some innate supernatural abilities, and not somehow linked to the fate of the world. I think that the more realistic approach is quite an interesting take, and that is not to say that the world itself doesn't have magic and fantastical monsters. While it is a sprawling open world, the developers remind us that the game will constantly autosave, meaning no save scumming and having to live with your decisions. But somehow, there's also the option for co-op, either locally or online, so I'm curious to see how this will work. Nevertheless, do expect some jank given the open world nature, but let's see how well put together this game is when it comes out. For more upcoming indie game new releases, check out the previous video or watch my recommended playlist, and I will see you after the jump.